Today is Sunday, Parashat Vayeshev. In the parasha of this week, Yosef HaTzadik is sold by his brothers as a slave. Parashat tells us about the brothers being jealous of Yosef. But there is one thing that says about Yosef in the parasha. It says that Vayave Yosef et dibbatam ra'a el avihem. That Yosef brought evil reports to his father about his brothers. He spoke lashon hara about them, and what he perceived to be something that they did as a sinful activity, there was actually nothing wrong with it. He misunderstood what he saw. But this is what he told the father. He told the father that his brothers were eating ever min achai, which is a limb from a live animal. In other words, if you were to cut off a leg from an animal that is not slaughtered, that would be asur, that's ever min achai. And he thought that's what they did, and that's what he reported to their father. The other thing, he reported that they called the children of Zilpah and Bilhah, they called them slaves, which they were not. And he reported to the father that they had promiscuous relations with ladies. They were not, there was immorality there. Well, he perceived something which was not the reality of what really was taking place. When he thought they were eating a limb from a live animal that was not slaughtered, our sages explained it could be one of two things that happened. They had slaughtered the animal, but the animal was still moving. Sometimes even after the slaughtering of the animal continues to move. At that point, it's no longer considered to be a limb from a live animal. That's what he saw. He thought that's what they had done. The other possibility that the commentators tell us is he was a ben pekua, which means if you slaughter a cow and you find a live baby calf inside the animal and then he walks away, that calf that was still in the mother's womb when she was slaughtered does not need shchita. You can eat it without doing shchita, without doing the slaughtering. And we do have, just so that would not be a problem of mar'it ayin, so that people do not suspect that. But he thought they were eating a limb from a live animal, which is asur. But whether it was the animal that was still moving or he was a ben kua, he was a calf that was in his mother's womb when she was slaughtered. In either case, the limb from a live animal does not apply. So it was a false report. When they called the children bnei shfachot, the children of the servants, they didn't mean that these were children that were slaves themselves. What they meant is just that they were children of the servants of Rachel and Leah, which they didn't mean to be slaves. So again, false report. The other thing is he saw them having business dealings with some ladies, which is permitted according to halacha. You're allowed to buy and sell to ladies. He thought that they were involved in immoral activity, and he reported again a false report to his father. For these three things, he was punished measure for measure. When the brothers sold him, they slaughtered a goat and dipped his tunic, his coat, in the blood to send to the father, pretending that a wild animal had devoured him. Then he spoke about the children of Leah, calling the children of Zilpah and Bilhah slaves. As measure for measure, he was himself sold as a slave to Egypt. And when he suspected them of immorality, he was himself put to test when the wife of Potiphar tried to convince him to have relations with her. So we see that things don't happen just haphazardly or just by coincidence or for no reason. He misspoke to the father. He said lashon hara. He gave evil reports, and on these three things that he spoke, he was held to task to them. And this is one of the lessons in the parasha of this week, to be very careful with our speech and not to run to conclusions. When we see something, quite often we assume the wrong thing Well, actually, we should judge people favorably. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.